Welcome to Trinity Lutheran Church in New York Mills, Minnesota. I invite you to hang out in the dugout with us today, and let's listen to what the Word of God has to say about the hymn, Rejoice, Rejoice, Believers.
Rejoice, rejoice, believers, and let your lights appear. The evening is advancing, and darker night is near. The bridegroom is arising, and soon he's drawing nigh. Up, pray and watch and wrestle. At midnight comes the cry. The saints who hear in patience their cross and sufferings bore shall live and reign forever, when sorrow is no more. Around the throne of glory the Lamb they shall behold, in triumph cast before him their diadems of gold. Our hope and expectation, O Jesus, now appear. Arise, O Son, so longed for, or this benighted sphere. With hearts and hands uplifted, we plead, O Lord, to see the day of hearse redemption that sets your people free.
We're in the dugout at one of our ball fields here in our small community. We've got 2-3 different ball fields for baseball, softball, and high school baseball, and then we have a league baseball happen here. A lot of activities on these ball fields, especially through the summer, and people love to be entertained watching the children and watching some young adults play the sports and just enjoy that time together. Long ago, far away, oh gosh, I even hate to admit it, how many years that would be. I think it was about 3rd grade. I tried baseball one time. This was kind of the normal place for me to sit, on the bench. It didn't help when I showed up and I insisted, to my mother's consternation, I was going to play in clodhoppers. That's like a work boot. I didn't want to wear no tennis shoes. They were no good for nothing. And so most of the time I sat and watched the other kids play. That's part of learning stuff from different things. It taught me that wasn't the love of something I wanted to do. There was other things I would rather do and went about going about those. We learn a lot of different things from different ways. Sometimes we get hurt in doing something and maybe you're bleeding but not real bad, and your mother or father and say, what did you learn from that? Or in business, sometimes we'll make a mistake and we sit down with the people that are over us, and if they're good leadership, and if it was an honest mistake, they sit down and go, okay, what happened? What didn't we train you in? What equipment didn't we get to you? Or was it just a mistake? What can we put in place so it doesn't happen again? The hymn that we heard just a few moments ago, Rejoice, Rejoice, Believers, it comes out of the reflection that we see in Matthew 25, verses 1 through 6. And it reads as following: Then the kingdom of heaven will be comparable to 10 virgins who took their lamps and went out to meet the bridegroom. 5 of them were foolish, 5 were prudent. For when the foolish took their lamps, they took no oil with them, but the prudent took oil and flasks along with their lamps. Now while the bridegroom was delaying, they all got drowsy and began to sleep. But at midnight there was a shout, Behold, the bridegroom come out to meet him. As you read the rest of that chapter of chapter 25, you'll see where when the bridegroom arrives, it represents when Christ comes again on that final day. As we have this time here on this earth, He prepares us for that time through the power of His Word. We learn from that everything that was done here on this earth, as Christ fulfilled every part of the law in our place, that we call that the active obedience of Christ, was then at that, He allowed to give Himself up life on a cross for us. The Father accepted that sacrifice for us because Christ has risen from the dead. That means we're going to rise someday. We learn from that through the power of His Word, the Word that makes us wise unto salvation. We invite you to gather around that Word with us here at Trinity in New York Mills. Worship times right now during the summer, 8 and 9:30, as we've been saying, as we gather around the gracious Word of God, His gracious gift of baptism, and the Lord's Supper. As always, we ask you, if you haven't done it yet, make sure you subscribe and like. And we always want to thank all those that are supporting this ministry. This is all donation supported. As we get to bring this devotional ministry, you have an opportunity to be able to click down below to be able to support that, or go to our webpage. There's an opportunity there too. As always, we love having you with us today, and we ask that God bless you and all that He brings you to and through this week.